I'm here to show you a tutorial about designing deterministic finite automata. In this topic, we will be using state, an alphabet, and a transition arrow. In this tutorial, I served three problems about this topic. And our first problem is design a DFA that can accept all strings over alphabet 01 with an odd number of 1. In this problem, the string should has an odd number of 1 to accept, but if it is even number, the machine should reject it. Uh, Now in our designing, our start state is Q0. And in Q0, put your transition arrow with an alphabet of 1 to the final state Q1. And in your final state Q1, put your transition arrow with alphabet of 1 to the start state 1. Here, if the string has an odd number of 1, you will stop in the final state. And if even number, you will stop in the start state. In Q0 and Q1, put your transition arrow with an alphabet of 0 into their own state because our focus is in the alphabet of one string. And that's it for our problem number 1. Now let's proceed to our second problem. And our second problem is coming where? Our second problem is design a DFA that accept all strings over the alphabet 01 that contains the substring 01. In this problem, the string should has a substring of 011 to accept by the machine. Now, in designing, again, a start state Q0. In Q0, the transition arrow with an alphabet of 1 should loop in its own state because this state should wait until string 0 exists. And if 0 came, state Q0 should pass to the state Q1. And if the state received the string 1, this state should pass to the state Q2. But if string 0 exists, this state should put this transition arrow with alphabet of 0 to his own state because this state is the receiver of string 2. And in state Q2, the transition arrow with alphabet of 0 should put to our receiver of string 0, and that is state Q1 to reset the substring 01. But if Q2 receives the string 1, the transition arrow with alphabet of 1 should put to our final state, and the transition with the alphabet of 0 and 1 of our final state Q3 should loop into its own state because the substring 011 has been executed in the string. So that string should accept by the machine, whatever it takes. And that's it for our problem number 2. Problem number 2 solved. And another problem, problem number 3. A little bit reading. And our problem number 3 is design a DFA that accepts all string over the alphabet 01 that starts and ends with 01. In this problem, the string should start and ends with a substring of 01, or else the machine will reject it. Uh, First, our start state Q0. State Q0. In this state, the transition arrow with alphabet of 0 should pass to Q1. But if string 1 exists in the first string, the start state should pass this transition arrow with alphabet of 1 to the state that catch all reject string. That is state Q3. Now in Q1, the transition arrow with alphabet of 1 should put to the state Q2 because Q2 is our state that received the right string in the start string. In state Q2, the transition arrow with alphabet of 0 should put to the state Q5 because Q5 is the receiver of string 0 after the start string 01. But if the second string is 0, the state Q1 must pass the transition arrow with alphabet of 0 to the reject state, and that is our state Q3. The transition arrow of our state Q3 with an alphabet of 0 and 1 must put to its own state because the string does not meet the required start state to accept by the machine. And let's go back to our state Q2. While you are in this state and this state receives string 1, this state should pass its transition arrow with alphabet of 1 to the state that receives string 1, and that is our state Q4. State Q4 is our receiver of string 1. If this state receives string 0, this state should pass its transition arrow with alphabet of 0 to our receiver of 0 string. And that is our state Q5. And Q5 is our state that wait until string 1 to exist to pass his transition arrow with alphabet of 1 to our final state Q6. But if you are in the state Q6 and the string is not done yet, this state should pass its transition arrow with alphabet of 0 to the state that receives string 0, and if 1 to our state that receives string 1. And in Q4, since this state is the receiver of string 1, its transition arrow with alphabet of 1 must only put to its own state, just like in our state Q5. Since his state is the receiver of string 0, this state must put his transition arrow with alphabet of 0 to its own state. And that's it for our problem number 3. And that's my project for the comp. Tapos na. Mahirap na, ma'am. The end na. By Edmond A. Plancia. Salamat po.